Roy sends it back. Navarro's got it down. The kick is on its way. Long enough. Michigan wins!
Coming up on Michigan Replay, we'll recap the opener as Michigan knocks off top 10 Washington. We'll have the highlights. We'll also meet a pair of safeties who are determined to make it unsafe in the Wolverines secondary. And we'll look ahead and scout Western Michigan as the Wolverines get ready for Game 2. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by The Joy of Pepsi and by Big Boy Restaurants, home of the original Big Boy double-decker hamburger.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay. Well, on Saturday in Ann Arbor, there was a heart-stopper.
A day never to be forgotten, Jim.
No, a great 31 to, was it 29 win? I don't even know. All I know is that Brabs made the field goal late. Looked like the game was out of control and out of reach, and your kids never said die.
Well, Jim, right from early on, it was one of those games that went back and forth, and it was won a few times and lost a few times. Thank God that field goal team did a great job protecting, and Philip Brabs, what a story. What
a story is right. We'll get into that at the end of the game. Right now, let's take a look. Early on in this football game against Washington, Lloyd, it looked like you had it going your way. Very first running play from scrimmage.
Well, we ran off tackle when B.J. Askew had a great block on the linebacker, and Chris made a safety miss, and we got into that secondary, and that's the way we wanted to start the game. We talked all week about getting a fast start and taking that stadium over and getting our crowd into the game.
At that point, you're up 7-0, and the defense, which played well, I thought, all day long, comes up with a big play.
Well, we did a tremendous job outside of one play all day long in the rushing game, and a big hit there, and Julius Curry came up with a what we call a sudden change opportunity. We've got him at the short end of the field, and on the first down, we went for the, we had him open and missed him, but on a big third down play, John hits Tyrese Butler, and we got a good shot at a field goal here.
But the problem is you missed this field goal, and that was kind of a theme of the day until that last one.
Well, we missed.
Well, if you're going to do 1 and 4.
You want to miss them early.
If you're 1 out of 4 in field goals, you want the last one to be the one, right?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it was. And here's a great play by Dan Romashek, who had a wonderful game defensively.
Well, Danny's had a great fall, and he's a fifth-year kid from Chicago, and he's just had a wonderful career.
And then you get Pickett out here scrambling around. Victor Hobson makes a play.
Well, Victor led us in tackles and came up with a good hit there. I think, you know, the one thing I noticed all day long, Jim, it was a hard-hitting game on both sides. I thought we made some mistakes, but we made some great tackles and great hits. And we get great field position here on a big third down play. We hit B.J. Askew on the screen to the left side.
And here's your second big play.
Yeah, and John did a great job stepping up. Good play action, allowed Braylon to get deep, and he's a big guy. He's on the fastest corner maybe in the country there in Rock Alexander.
Well, you sucked the safety up with that run action look, and that got Braylon at least open over the middle.
And Braylon's a big target, Jim. He's 6'3", and he can run, and it was certainly a big play for us.
And then you get another turnover. Good play that time by Marcus Curry.
Well, Marcus came up with a big play, and you know, we're playing good defense and having some success on offense. But in the second quarter, Jim, we really, after the big play, we struggled offensively. We were into the wind, and Washington, the entire second quarter, had great field position.
And it put a lot of pressure on your defense.
Yes, it did.
And you can see here the defense begins to give up some yardage.
Well, we got a young corner there that got to get back underneath that play, but it gives a first down. And then on third down, they hit a back out of the backfield for another first down.
And then you say, this is very little pressure. And it's really because the defense is a little tired.
Yeah, there's no question at this stage. It was very, very hot in that stadium, and of course, that's the way we liked it.
They miss the extra point, so it's 14-6 at this point. Then you do the thing that you can't do, turn the ball over.
Well, especially at that end of the field, and Chris does not have the ball secured properly, and that's what happens. And again, we put our defense in very poor field position, and we're unable to get them stopped, and they go back. knock it in there and make the extra point. Now it's, you know, instead of us having control of the game, it's an even game.
The 14-13 game, and right before half, they make an effort to actually take the lead.
Yep, they got down there, made a big play, and we came up with a tremendous stop here. And they took over, I think, inside the 50. And Marlon Jackson, I thought, was just outstanding against Reggie
Williams, their top receiver.
There's a big block by Carl Diggs. Big special teams play, and Shante Orr's, you can tell he doesn't carry the ball very much. He's changing hands, which makes me mad. But we took it down there and had a chance, missed another field goal.
At halftime, do you go into the locker room a little disappointed because you had the 14-0 lead and you're only up 1?
Well, you know, Jim, I went into that locker room trying to tell our team, look, we got off to a great start. Now, the second quarter, we didn't do anything with the ball offensively and turned it over and put our defense in bad field position and played, you know, never did anything, and we're ahead. Look, we're ahead.
And that's something to be said. When we come back, we'll take a look at the great finish, a Michigan victory. But first, we hear from defensive star Carl Diggs, who says rule number 1 on defense is stop the run.
We knew we had a pretty good defense against the run, and everybody just fit their holes right, and people just kept on making plays, getting a lot of people to the ball. And that's what we did. That's what we focused on during 2 days of stopping the run, and we came out and did that.
Now, the Les Stanford Chevrolet Locker Room Report.
That's what you come here for. That's what the games we like to have. Well, not all the time, but it's one of the great wins in my life, and this team worked so hard, and we're deserving. The team played hard. They played tremendous. Both teams deserve to win.
John Navarre after the victory over Washington. And you said after the game, and I love this, you said, hey, look, I'm not going to defend John Navarre anymore because I don't need to.
That's right, Jim.
He played wonderfully.
He played wonderfully. And nobody could be happier for a guy than I am for John Navarre. I know you feel the same way. And I know everybody that
what he's been
Michigan
through and how he's handled it and how he's worked.
I mean, never took all of it, and he's quite a guy.
Yep. And here they are at Washington as we get to the second half highlights. And this is where they take the first lead of the game, and this one should have never happened.
Well, Jim, we couldn't do anything with the ball. They got down. Our defense is 3rd and 20. And there is a play that we just cannot let happen because we're in position to make a play.
Coaches, all they do, they want the player to be in position.
Yeah, those are the plays that I mean, we've got to make those plays, and we'll learn from that.
But how about the way this team responded? Your next possession, you just, after not being able to move it right down the field.
We put together a great drive, and here's a great throw. And B.J. Askew caught, I think I mentioned, 7 balls. On Saturday and did a tremendous job blocking and got us down into the red zone. And John hits Braylon, and Braylon is trying to spin out of there and make a play, and the ball comes loose. And fortunately, one of our guys got it because that would have been a hard turnover to deal with.
This is what I like, Lloyd. On the goal line.
I know you do, Jim.
It's
I like
about
it too.
time.
And I like it too.
You move that line of scrimmage up there.
Well, Jim, you know, our offensive line, that's a young group. But I thought, generally speaking, they did a very good job protecting the quarterback. And there were some times when we asserted control of the line of scrimmage. This
it's one of those freak plays.
Well, yeah, it's a great break for Washington. One of their kids got their hands up, and the ball happened to stick. Our defense made a great stand there. That maybe is the biggest stand of the day for our defense, keeping them out of the end zone and holding the 3.
And that made it 23-21 Washington. Here's a play that should have been a touchdown, but Calvin Bell just can't keep his feet.
Well, you know, Calvin had a touchdown there if he could have kept his feet. But again, good play action, good call by Terry Malone, and wonderful execution. Watch Navarre block here. There's Pearson blocking. And we're getting down into field goal range.
And again, you're doing a great job of run action and getting people open, but the run game has to be effective in order for that to work.
Yes, it does. And I don't know, Jim, how many times we ran the football, but right here to me, that was one of the best runs of the day.
Me too, because you knocked them off the ball.
Yes, we did. And Tony Pape and Dave Petrozello and Pearson and Boss and Courtney Morgan and Jopru. I mean, that was what you like to see in Michigan football, and you like to see that kind of tackling right there.
And that gave you the 28-23 lead, but they come back, and this is the one play you wish you had back.
Yeah, there's 2 plays in this game, and if you take 2 plays, our defense was magnificent. But that play, we didn't get somebody out there where they're supposed to be, and then the long touchdown pass. And, you know, we've got some work to do, but if you take 2 plays out, which you can't, thankfully we won the game.
Good play here on the 2-point conversion, because this is an important miss for them, because that kept it a 1-point game.
Jim, they went for 2, which was a good call for them. They didn't make it, and now we've still got plenty of time here, and John makes a great throw. Great concentration by Tyrese Butler. Tyrese caught everything that John threw to him.
Then you got a chance here late to win it, and you just miss it. This is under 2 minutes to go, and a lot of people think, uh-oh, it's over at this point, except you.
Well, Jim, I'll tell you one thing I can say is this. Our offense did a great job not utilizing any of our timeouts, and there's a big play by our defense. Dan Rumashek comes up and 6 or 7 yard loss, and so we've still got time. And watch this play.
Tyrese Butler makes a fumble recovery, and that's just huge.
If he doesn't make a great hustling play, great protection here, and there's nobody open, but they had 12 men on the field, Jim, and that's a horrible way to lose a game.
Well, and it gives you 15 more yards, and Phil Brabs just nailed it.
He killed it. I mean, he hit it right on the sweet spot, and I want you to know that was an emotional
Isn't that
group.
fun to see
That's
this video?
an unbelievable group.
Isn't that
but
fun?
Jim, I want to give all the credit in the world to Washington. It was a great football game. There's a lot of mistakes on both sides, but that was a hard fought. That was a great football game, representative of everything good about college football.
You were saying after the game you were going to go for a field goal even if it was 60 yards, because you felt even if you don't get the 12 men on the field penalty against Washington, because you thought Brabs had the leg to do it.
I think there were 6 seconds on the clock, and it was 4th down, and we were going, rather than throw the Hail Mary, because Phil Brabs has a cannon. I mean, he can kick the ball a long ways, and he did a tremendous job on kickoffs, and Adam Finley was absolutely outstanding in the punting game. So there's some real positives in this game.
So the kicking game, even though it was shaky early, may have solidified itself against Washington.
Well, you know, Philip Brabs has to gain some great confidence. Yes, and Troy Nienberg kicked a couple of extra points, and he's a solid guy, and Brabs is, and that's what it comes down to.
Well, congratulations. It all comes down to 31-29. Michigan wins it. Great victory in Ann Arbor on Saturday.
Well, those kids, they deserved it.
All right. When we come back, we will take a look at a pair of safeties patrolling the defensive backfield. But first, we hear from Saturday's game winner, Phil Brabs.
You just want to be able to win a game for your team, you know. I mean, of course, they did everything else, and I just came in and made a kick at the end. But I guess my dream this season was to kick a game winner against Notre Dame from 55 yards, and I wasn't thinking a game winners would come this early.
The Michigan Athletic Department would like to invite all fans to experience a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity by participating in the new online auction at mgoblueauction.com. The MGO Blue auction site allows True Blue fans to place bids on special packages, including VIP access to Michigan football, basketball, hockey, and numerous other sports. Show your support for Michigan athletics in an exciting new way by visiting mgoblueauction.com. For more information, call the Sports Marketing Office at 734-647-2582. Michigan's secondary is very talented and very deep. 2 veterans back there are Cato June and Julius Curry. These 2 safeties have had similar careers in that both have had to come back from serious injuries to re-entrench themselves. Through these trials, they took their inspiration from each other.
I mean, it's tough coming back from injury because not only are you missing those reps out there, but your body has to get physically prepared to go back out there and play 12 games. You know, watching Everything that Cato did when he was hurt, it kind of inspired me. Once I got hurt, I was like, you know, one thing I can't do this year is get hurt, and it happened. So it was like, you know, once I saw the things that he did with working hard, getting rehab every day, you know what I'm saying, listening to the doctors and going and just showing up every day and being there outside with the team and inspiring them every day, giving them a good, you know, pat on the butt if they do a good play or if they mess up, being there to help them out rather than just criticizing them. And that was like the biggest thing about, you know what I'm saying, taking care of myself but also still being a big part of the team.
It's definitely mental because like for him going out there, if he thinks he's going to hit somebody in the shoulder, for me, you know, making a plan, making a cut, being able to sit down in my break and coming out, it's definitely a lot more mental than it is physical after the physical part is over.
These two young men are leaders. They've fought back from injury. They are established players, and they are bringing a new resolve to their teammates.
But this year we're going to focus more on the team aspect, you know what I'm saying, being there for the players, helping each other out instead of, you know, it's always a fight for the position. But sometimes, you know, some teams, they worry about rather taking a spot rather than helping somebody out so they don't mess up in the game, which would cause you to lose.
It's all about the team, but it's also about getting something back that these guys felt they lost at the end of last season.
In the past, I know people fear Michigan. You know, a lot of times, and maybe in the media, you know, and the way people talk about Michigan, I think we might have lost some of that pregame respect in terms of how Michigan is going to come out there and, you know, well, I don't think they're tough or I'm not sure if they're good enough, you know. And I think we have to go out there every game, every week and instill fear in people's, you know, minds like, oh, we're playing Michigan this week, or I don't know if I really want to play Michigan. You know, get back to the old, say, where the defense was feared here in Michigan. You know, they knew one thing, that Michigan defense was going to come out here and hit them. They're going to fly around, they're going to get to the ball. So we have to reestablish that attitude throughout throughout everybody's mind.
We call ourselves, you know what I'm saying, we the pack, you know, like a pack of wolves. And that's how we got to, you know what I'm saying, attack other teams, you know, and it's like everybody knows that the talent that we have, but now we have to go out there and perform.
You know, one of the things, in a former life, you were a defensive coach, right? But you
coached the secondary.
I know you did, and that's why I wanted to bring this up. Because you defensive guys got to play with a little chip on their shoulder, don't they?
Yeah, you do. And, you know, because there's a lot of things that, if you make a mistake back there, Jim, everybody in the stadium, everybody in America knows. And you have to be tough mentally because, you know, there's going to be some things happen. But I like these guys. They're aggressive. They're heavy hitters. There was some heavy hitting out there Saturday.
Betcha.
So I like our safeties. I think they're guys that love to play the game, and there is competition there, and yet they're Michigan men, and they want to win for Michigan.
And what's important is, as they said, the team. When we come back, we will take a look at the team Michigan must play next week, Western Michigan. But first, we hear from Courtney Morgan about it's time to put this one behind him and move forward.
We got to forget about this game because, you know, we got goals, and, you know, we can't lose in college football. So we got to forget about it and keep going. It was a great win. We could use it as a positive, I think, to motivate us. You know, we get in tough situations. Our opening game, we're in a tough situation. So I think that, you know, it can help us later on down the road because we had to face adversity so early.
Now, the Les Stanford Chevrolet locker room report.
Western Michigan is a good team, real good team. We're not thinking about Notre Dame or Utah, who's ever after that. We're thinking about Western Michigan right now. This game right here is over, so we're just getting ready for next week.
Well, from the frying pan into the fire, the Wolverines game 2, we got Western Michigan coming in next week to Ann Arbor. And, you know, after a tough national game, these games can be dangerous, can't they?
Well, Jim, you know, I've told our team back in the spring, Western Michigan is going to be a tough football game for us because regardless of what happened in the opener, you know, there's so much excitement there, and Western has 2 extra days to get ready. They play Thursday night. Gary Darnell, I respect him tremendously as a football coach and as a man. He's just done a tremendous job at Western Michigan.
And they have a team with some skilled people that can do some things. They beat Indiana State 48-17 last Thursday.
Well, Jim, that game a year ago was very close. We hit a 50-yard touchdown pass late in the first half to give ourselves a lead, but it was a struggle.
And you may see 2 quarterbacks, John Drock and Chad Munson.
Well, Drock played a year ago after our game. Their quarterback, who'd had a tremendous career at Western, got hurt. He stepped in, did a great job. And this Philip Reed is 210 pounds now.
And this guy, Jermaine Lewis, he's a 6'4" wide receiver.
Well, Jim, he was a defensive back a year ago, and so it tells you what kind of athlete he is when they moved him over to wide receiver.
And defensively, Jason Babin is one of their key guys up front, but Brian Late, who's a linebacker, who's extremely active.
Well, he led the team in tackles a year ago, and Jason Feldposh, the safety, had a good game against us a year ago. We did not run the football very well a year ago in this game.
Against a team like Western, as we take a look at Feldposh here and making a play, how do you approach it from your perspective? Is it one of those where we have to improve? Michigan has to get better at the things you felt weren't done well against Washington.
Well, Jim, when we watch that film as a team, there's going to be a lot of things that we have to correct. And, you know, as great and as emotional as that win was, the one thing we have to have a mindset on is that we have to get better. You have to improve. And, you know, in this day and age, the Mid-American Conference has had a number of major upsets or so-called upsets against Big Ten and other
Penn State on
teams.
Saturday barely got by Central Florida.
Well, and Northern Illinois beat Wake Forest. I mean, you know, you look at the history of that league, and they've had some tremendous victories. So we know that that this game is one that they've put on their schedule, and they want to quit themselves well. They're going to come in here and give a great effort, and we have to match that effort.
Well, we will be here after that game and tell you all about it, so make sure you join us. Same time, same place, right here on Michigan Replay.
Michigan Replay has been brought to you in part by Abso Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908.